Coach is here.
All right. If anyone has any questions, please raise your hands now.
Yeah. All right, ready.
All right. We have our first question coming in now. It's from Ira Winderman. Go ahead, Ira.
Hi, Erik. I know this is a topic that's sort of a little off the beaten path, but it is the news of the day around the NBA today. Now that Giannis has agreed to his extension, there's, as I guess you would say, one fewer storyline to deal with this year. I'm just wondering, even in your position, is it nice not to have to deal with anything like that at the moment? Sort of that's gone now, and that won't be a storyline. The guy can't be traded to the offseason and just sort of be able to move forward.
That's how we've approached our training camp and this year. This team is about now, and we have a big, audacious goal, and we've just been focusing on that daily process of trying to get our team better and get right.
And then just getting back to what I'm sure you'd rather talk about. I know you had a video session today. How important is it to actually get game film of what these guys can do and sort of in a real condition, as opposed to just what you had for 4 or 5 days of training camp?
Well, it's definitely good, for the new players and our younger players to see what it looks like in our system. I know our returning players probably know all of our playoff series and moments by heart, just because we've seen so much of it on film, and then everybody had watched a bunch, the last couple weeks, and some of the returning young guys, we'd sent them edits, so I think they're tired of watching all those playoff edits, and it was just good to compete against somebody else other than ourselves, obviously.
And one last question, and I don't know if this was a factor of going against one of the best young power players in the NBA, jitters of the first game. Mo's foul trouble and his limited minutes yesterday. Was there something you saw on video that was a concern? Was it just the jitters of a first game with a new team? What contributed to Mo's foul trouble that he wasn't able to stay on the court? Thank you.
Well, facing a really explosive, powerful, power forward in Williamson. I also just wanted to play Mo, as many minutes as I could with that first unit. So in a normal game, I would have subbed for him, but I let him play through the foul trouble just to get those extra reps.
All right, next we have Nick Friedel with ESPN. Go ahead.
Spo, this ties back in a little to Giannis, but it's a broader league question. As somebody who has had UD on the team forever, and you obviously had Dwayne and Zoe and a bunch of different guys. What does it mean to an organization to be able to have one star or several players that you can build around for years and years and years?
And you're talking about specifically in UD?
UD, but I mean, like Giannis has been with Milwaukee the entirety of his career. You had Dwayne for so long before he left a couple years ago. I know, just having that one guy that the franchise can know is going to be there through thick and thin.
Yeah, I think every circumstance and organization is different because, with us, we have a certain type of player that we're attracted to, and that meshes with our values. UD, is the picture and the image of who we think a Miami Heat player is, and how they represent themselves, how they compete, what kind of pro they are, what kind of example and leader they are. That's UD. That was Dwayne. But our next generation is Bam, and it's Jimmy. And that's why, for us, they've really mattered. Those are 10x moves. Being able to get Jimmy Butler in here, like this is who we are. This is who he is. That's really hard to do in this league. It's just to find, the right kind of people that are aligned with who you are, and then to be able to have Bam, as well. They're basically the same guy, just playing different positions and different personalities, but they approach competition the same way. And in moving forward, with this next chapter and this next generation, having them both, with us under contract, I think is really key and really important.
All right, next up we have Cooper Moorhead.
Yes, Bo. With Bam's jumper, obviously development is always a good thing, and a jumper is always a good thing for a big man. But does the value of it, or the way you can use his stretching out of his game, different because he's so unique and because he has the ball in his hands and he does so much of the offense versus him just being, a traditional dive or post up five who you just want to spread, space the floor from the corner?
Yeah, we want him to put pressure on opponent defenses in every way possible, and he's just continuing to player develop to be able to add more skills and more tools that help our offense. And his ability to pass, his ability to handle, get us into offense, to attack defenses, get to the free throw line, get to the rim, to be a screener and one of the most dynamic rollers, whether he's catching in the pocket or for lobs. And then since the ball is in his hands, his ability to make free throws and make, some of these short range shots that are not layups or not 3-pointers. He's not going to be we don't need him to be a stretch five, but to be able to make enough that just varies your menu and puts a lot of pressure on the defense. And you saw some of that, last night, how much he's improved.
Do you think that's going to be more important this year now that he's more of a known all-star commodity and teams might start loading up the paint even more against him?
Well, he has already developed a skill set to be able to turn that into opportunities, for your team in other ways, getting people open, dribble handoffs, things like that. And I just think also one of the most important things was how much he's improved his the 15-foot shot from the free throw line, because he's going to get fouled a lot. And, he in the bubble, he was one of our better free throw shooters. That was really important.
All right, and we'll bring back Ira. Go ahead.
Erik, Precious's first game yesterday, when I recall watching him against college players, he looked really big. When I watched him yesterday against NBA players, he didn't look quite as big. Where is his future? I know there are no positions, but do you see him as a post and sort of, big, or do you see him more as a face-up type of forward? Maybe more of a 3-4 than 4-5. I'm just curious, as of now, where you're grooming him toward. Thank you.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's you get him out there and you get him rolling to the rim and putting pressure on the basket. He just feels a lot bigger. He has that way about him in a similar way as Bam. He plays huge. He plays big. He plays impactful. We will build on that. I don't want to put a ceiling. I don't know, necessarily. We're going to take it everywhere with this player development.
And next we have Tim Reynolds. Go ahead, Tim.
Erik, I know you guys always say it's championship organization, world-class organization. You guys always do things the right way, and you're always keeping the main thing. I understand all that, of course. But I'm curious, when you look back at last year, even as it's affecting like the decisions you're making now and how you're going into this camp, did it change you at all? I mean, I know your goal is to win championships. I understand that part. But making that run and having it go that way, have it be that special run, did it change? Where did it change you? I guess kind of along the way.
In what way? I just want to make sure I get the context of where you get that.
Obviously every day one of the season you set out to win a championship. I understand that. Pat's 15-67 year was to win I understand all that. But I'm curious if maybe in your mind, seeing what that group was able to do last year, did it almost fast track a little bit where you are, where you think you are? I'm just from that perspective, did it change the way you think about what's realistic in the here and now, I guess, for the group?
I don't know. We probably all in this building live in a place of irrational purpose. Once we got Jimmy, and then with our player development, with Bam and the rest of the young guys, we felt that we had a really special team. And we just focused on the process. So, I can't even really take myself back to what our thought process was last September. We were so much into just making the team, trying to help the team get better. For me as head coach, you also want to be a part of special groups and experiences and create, memories, for a team. And we feel a great responsibility too, when you get somebody like Jimmy that, we have to put together a team that is ready to compete, right now. It's not about pushing this thing down the line.
All right, Coach, that's it. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks.